Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and welcome to Dear Profiler Pat, where you send me your questions, ask for advice, and I give some to you. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe and check the playlists. And if you want me to answer one of your questions, please send an email to profilerpatbrown@gmail.com and in the subject line, put Dear Profiler Pat. All right. This question, Dear Profiler Pat, do I have to go to a relative or friend's child's graduation? Now, this was actually not written to me. I read this from Dear Annie. And I just thought it was such a, this thing is this has bugged me for a while, this concept of, being invited to all these graduations and people feeling like they must do so. In this particular question to Annie, this was even, I kind of thought was extreme. A couple I've been friends with for over 20 years is about to celebrate their daughter's high school graduation. I recently received an invitation from the daughter, and while I was touched to be included, I'm feeling a little conflict. Over the past few years, the parents, who were once very close to me, have gradually stopped staying in touch. They no longer call or text when they're in town, which they used to do regularly. I don't know if life just got busy or there's some unspoken distance that's grown between us. The graduation party would also require some travel, which makes me question whether it's worth the effort given how things have changed. Now, I didn't have a problem with Annie's answer, really. She said, yeah, you could go, but and that would be nice. And you could maybe rekindle your relationship, or maybe you go and it doesn't happen that way and you feel kind of awkward and weird about it. But I was reading this and I'm like, let's talk about these graduations. Um, in general, graduations are deadly boring. They're overly long. We suffer through graduations. Even our own children's, we suffer through. They're not that much fun. I didn't even go to my graduation. I graduated high school. I graduated from college. I got my bachelor's and then I got my master's. Never went to any of the graduations because I didn't even want to go to my graduation for the same reason. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Now, if it's your own child, of course, they would probably expect you to be there, and you go and you sit through it, and then you're happy to see your child walk across the stage and get a piece of paper, and you go, yeah. So you do that, and then afterwards you give them big hugs, and then maybe you take them to dinner or whatever you do. Maybe go. There is a little graduation party, um, but I think that when inviting other people to your kid's graduation party, I think it's cruel. I mean, not the party, the actual graduation. I think it's cruel. For God's sakes, they're like, oh no, our best friend's daughters. Do I want to go to that thing? Some of them are held in these massive places too, and and there's so many people crossing the stage. It just goes on forever. Um, so, but maybe if it's your best friend, I'll take it back. Maybe if it's your best friend and you've known that child all your life and you're so proud of them for what they've achieved. And I mean that by um, high school, okay, used to be more of an achievement. These days, pretty much anybody can graduate and not even be able to read their diploma. But let's say they they graduate with stellar grades, and you've been there and you've been part of that close knit. It's almost like an extended family for you. So you say, I want to be there for that because I've known this child all my life and they really have done well. And so you put that extra effort out. Hopefully it's in your hometown. Okay. Now, let's say that same child grows up a little bit more and goes to college and then graduates and gets some does a really great job, gets a PhD in something or other or whatever. And they're out of town at a college. Is it a place you don't mind taking the drive to or flying to and maybe making a vacation out of it and getting together with your friends? Again, that you can decide if it's really worth it. Otherwise, you could just tell your friend, who's supposed to be your best friend, hey, I'm so thrilled that your daughter's graduating from college, but that trip is just too much for us right now. But I want to send her a present and wish her well. That kind of thing. That's if it's your close friend. Now, if it's a friend, somebody like this person hadn't even been in contact with this friend for a few years. It's like, no, you don't need to go to your daughter's high school graduation. Now, the daughter supposedly sent the thing, but just send her a nice little card with maybe some money in it or something, wish her well. If you haven't been around her that much, she doesn't really need you there anyway, quite frankly. And So I would say, you know, it's going to be not the most fun occasion. It never is, really, quite frankly. So you're going because you truly love that person and want to see them in that moment, and you want to be there. You want them to see you supporting them. If it's, it should be to that level of importance. So it should be somebody very close to you. If it's a relative and not just a friend, again, is it your cousin Mary who lives in, you know, 1,000 miles away, and you've sent letters back and forth? She goes, "Oh, my daughter Jody is graduating, so you come to her high school graduation." No, no, you shouldn't be obligated. That's just ridiculous. It's for the parents, it's for the family, not for people to have to fly in for their high school graduation. I think it's just crazy stuff. And one of the other things we have these days is graduations from, like, my granddaughter just graduated from fifth grade. They have the fifth grade graduation now. And did I go? Yes, I did, because I live next door to my granddaughter and I could pick her up from school. So yes, I went to it. I think it's kind of silly to graduate from fifth grade, you know, like every kid did. Every kid got a participation trophy for graduating, but I went because I'm right there. And but should let's say okay, my sister's in Florida and she finds out her I say, "Oh, look, your niece is graduating fifth grade. Why don't you show up?" I think she would say, I'm kind of busy, you know. So there's these over graduation stuff that's done these days. And so I think, you, as a person who's inviting people, first of all, you are, it's really your fault if you invite people you shouldn't be inviting and forcing to come to this thing. Um, so that's first, that's on you. And then if you're being invited, you have to think of, is this really something that is so important that you be there, more so than they're just immediate family? And we sometimes get into wedding issues the same way. And I'll do a whole different video on the wedding stuff because that's gone berserk. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Tell me what happened with you and graduations. Did you go? Did you ask people to come? I'd be curious to know. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for being here. Do subscribe, and I'll see you for the next Your Profiler Pat.